Welcome back to Retrospective Rewinds, the channel where we journey through the annals of alternate history and reimagine the past in ways you've never seen before. Today we're diving headfirst into a world where the Aztec Empire takes center stage in an epic conquest that reshapes the very fabric of reality. But this isn't just any old history lesson. It's an electrifying tale of diplomacy, intrigue, and cultural fusion that'll leave you on the edge of your seat. So before we unravel the Aztec Ascendancy, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow history buffs, and most importantly, subscribe to Retrospective Rewinds for more mind-bending trips through time. You won't want to miss this one, trust me. Chapter 1: The Arrival. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the golden sands of the Spanish coast. The tranquil evening was shattered by the distant sound of drums and conch shell trumpets, echoing eerily through the sleepy fishing village of Cadiz. As the villagers rushed to the shore, their eyes widened in disbelief and terror. On the horizon, a formidable fleet of immense ships with ornate feathered sails appeared. These vessels were unlike anything the people of Spain had ever seen. Towering sculptures of jaguars and serpents adorned their bows, and their hulls shimmered with intricate mosaic patterns. But it was the flag they bore that sent a shiver down the spines of all who beheld it, a crimson banner emblazoned with the unmistakable emblem of the Aztec Empire. The arrival of the Aztecs had come as a shock, their journey across the Atlantic a testament to the ambition of their emperor, Moctezuma II. At the heart of this bold expedition was Moctezuma's grand vision, a vision that had set in motion the divergence of history itself. Chapter 2: Clash of Cultures. As the Aztec forces disembarked from their magnificent vessels, the clash of cultures was immediate and palpable. Spanish townsfolk stared in wide-eyed disbelief as the newcomers, draped in vibrant feathered cloaks and adorned with elaborate headdresses, walked ashore. The clatter of unfamiliar tongues mixed with the perplexed murmurs of the locals. Resistance to this uninvited intrusion soon emerged among the Spanish nobility. The lords and ladies of the realm, dressed in the regal attire of Europe, gathered to discuss the looming threat. Bishop Antonio de Carranza, a prominent figure in the Catholic Church, implored them to stand firm against the Aztec heathens. The clash was not limited to cultural and religious differences alone. Aztec soldiers, known for their discipline and military prowess, stood in stark contrast to the Spanish knights. Moctezuma's emissaries, led by the eloquent and enigmatic diplomat Cuauhtémoc, sought to establish communication channels. Yet beneath the veneer of diplomacy, suspicions ran deep. The first days of the Aztec arrival were fraught with uncertainty and trepidation, setting the stage for the epic confrontation that would define this new reality. The future hung in the balance as Aztec and Spanish forces cautiously assessed each other, their destinies now forever intertwined. As the sun dipped below the horizon on that fateful evening, the people of Cadiz knew that their world had changed irreversibly. The clash of cultures had begun, and with it, the dawn of an alternate history where the Aztec Empire held sway over the old world. Chapter 3: Secrets and Alliances. The intrigue between the Aztecs and the Spanish grew more complex with each passing day. In the shadows of Cadiz's narrow alleyways and bustling markets, secret meetings took place. Aztec emissaries, cloaked in elaborate feathered mantles, exchanged whispers with Spanish aristocrats who dared to defy the imperial intruders. Unexpected alliances began to form, rooted in a shared desire to navigate this uncharted territory. Among the Spanish nobility, Don Rodrigo de Soto, a cunning and pragmatic lord, saw an opportunity in collaboration rather than resistance. He struck a clandestine agreement with Cuauhtémoc, recognizing that their combined influence could shape the course of history. Meanwhile, within the Aztec ranks, not all were in agreement with Emperor Moctezuma's vision. General Cuauhtémoc, a seasoned military leader with a loyal following, harbored reservations about the conquest of Spain. He feared the consequences of spreading the empire too thin, even as he led Aztec warriors in demonstrations of strength and discipline. As alliances were forged in secrecy, Betrayals and shifting loyalties added complexity to the unfolding drama. The Spanish noble, torn between allegiance to his homeland and the allure of Aztec wealth, faced a moral dilemma that would determine his fate. The web of intrigue tightened, and the boundaries between friend and foe blurred. Amidst these hidden negotiations, the fate of the Spanish monarchy and the Aztec Empire hung precariously in the balance. Chapter 4: Aztec Influence. In the wake of the secret negotiations and alliances, the influence of Aztec culture began to permeate Spanish society. It was a gradual transformation, marked by both resistance and fascination. Spanish towns, once adorned with European architecture, now saw the emergence of structures that bore the unmistakable hallmarks of Aztec design. Temples adorned with intricate mosaics and sacrificial altars stood side by side with Gothic cathedrals. Markets bustled with colorful feathered garments and exotic spices, a testament to the vibrant exchange of goods and ideas. The religious landscape underwent a profound shift as well. Aztec spiritual practices, centered around the worship of gods like Huitzilopochtli and Quetzalcoatl, began to meld with Catholicism. Churches displayed icons of both Christ and Aztec deities, and rituals took on a syncretic quality that left clergy and worshippers alike both awed and perplexed. Art flourished in this new reality, with painters and sculptors drawing inspiration from both Aztec and European traditions. Elaborate murals depicting scenes from Aztec mythology adorned the walls of churches, while Gothic cathedrals incorporated Aztec motifs into their stained glass windows. Scientific advancements were not to be underestimated either. The exchange of knowledge between Aztec and European scholars led to breakthroughs in astronomy, medicine, and engineering. Spanish universities, once centers of European learning, now embraced the insights of the New World. However, the fusion of cultures was not without its challenges. Traditionalists on both sides decried the erosion of their cultural identities, while the masses grappled with the rapid changes transforming their world. The coexistence of Aztec and Spanish traditions gave rise to a vibrant yet sometimes uneasy tapestry of society. As Aztec influence continued to spread, the world was witnessing a reimagined reality, one that challenged preconceptions, blurred boundaries, and paved the way for a new era of discovery and innovation. Chapter 5: The Spanish Resistance. In the heart of Cadiz, a clandestine meeting of Spanish nobility convened in a dimly lit chamber. Don Rodrigo de Soto, his face etched with determination, addressed the gathering. "We cannot allow these heathens to dictate our fate," he declared, his voice resolute. "We may have formed secret alliances, but we must also prepare for resistance. Our identity, our faith, our very way of life is at stake." Around the table, murmurs of agreement and nods of resolve echoed. Among them was Isabella de la Vega, a spirited noblewoman known for her unwavering devotion to the Catholic Church. She voiced her concerns about the religious syncretism taking root in their once pure faith. "The fusion of our faith with these pagan practices is an affront to our Lord," Isabella asserted, her gaze unwavering. "We must stand against this sacrilege." The resistance movement took shape, with the Spanish nobility organizing protests and demonstrations in defiance of Aztec rule. Spanish knights, clad in their traditional armor, raised their swords in a pledge to protect their homeland from foreign influence. In response, Aztec officials faced the challenge of governing a populace that remained deeply attached to their European heritage. Cuauhtémoc, the Aztec diplomat, recognized the importance of diplomacy. He held negotiations with influential Spanish leaders, acknowledging the need for compromise. However, not all within the Aztec ranks supported a conciliatory approach. General Cuauhtémoc, a stalwart defender of Aztec traditions, questioned the emperor's willingness to accommodate the Spanish resistance. Cuauhtémoc convened a council of military leaders to discuss their next moves. "Our empire expands, but at what cost?" he pondered, his eyes fixed on a map that outlined the growing Aztec territories in Spain. "We cannot afford to underestimate the resolve of the Spanish." As resistance in the streets grew, so did the tension within the city. Skirmishes between Aztec and Spanish forces erupted sporadically, escalating the stakes and underscoring the complexities of this new reality. Despite the challenges, Cuauhtémoc continued to advocate for diplomacy, urging patience and understanding. The fate of this world hung in the balance as both sides grappled with their convictions, forging alliances and resisting change. Chapter 6: The Iberian Standoff. Negotiations between Aztec and Spanish leaders officially commenced, marked by diplomatic rituals and elaborate ceremonies. Emperor Moctezuma himself traveled to the heart of Cadiz, where a grand meeting hall had been prepared for the historic occasion. The atmosphere was tense as both sides sat at the ornate negotiating table. Cuauhtémoc and Don Rodrigo de Soto, representing their respective interests, exchanged formal pleasantries before the negotiations began in earnest. Yet the diplomatic proceedings were far from straightforward. Behind closed doors, political maneuvering and behind-the-scenes negotiations added layers of complexity. European powers, intrigued by the Aztec conquest, sent their own emissaries to observe and influence the negotiations. The Spanish monarchy, once a dominant force, found itself in a weakened position. The Aztec Empire's vast resources and military strength had shifted the balance of power. It was a delicate dance between imperial aspirations and the desire for stability in this new world. As negotiations reached a critical juncture, tensions flared up once again. The Spanish nobility, still resistant to Aztec rule, voiced their grievances. Isabella de la Vega, now a prominent voice in the resistance movement, presented a passionate plea for the preservation of Spanish culture and faith. Cuauhtémoc, ever the diplomat, sought common ground. "We do not seek to erase your identity," he reassured the Spanish nobility. "We seek cooperation, not conquest." Don Rodrigo de Soto, caught between loyalty to Spain and the potential for peace, faced a difficult decision. The fate of Cadiz, Spain, and the entire Old World rested on his shoulders. As the negotiations continued, the world watched with bated breath. The Iberian Standoff had brought the global community to the brink of a new reality, one shaped by diplomacy, intrigue, and the fragile hope for peace in a world forever changed. Chapter 7: Aztec and European Diplomacy. The negotiations between the Aztecs and the Spanish continued, marked by a delicate balance of power and influence. The grand meeting hall in Cadiz had become a symbol of hope and trepidation, where the future of the Old World was being determined. Emperor Moctezuma, adorned in resplendent feathers and a headdress of gold, addressed the assembled delegates. "We stand at the crossroads of history," he declared. "Let us forge a new path of cooperation and prosperity." Cuauhtémoc, his chief diplomat, skillfully navigated the intricacies of diplomatic relations. He met with representatives of European powers who sought to understand the implications of the Aztec Ascendancy. The global landscape was changing, and alliances were forming that would shape the world for generations to come. Alliances and treaties began to take shape, as the European nations and the Aztec Empire found common ground on matters of trade, technology, and mutual defense. The exchange of knowledge and resources flowed freely, creating a sense of interconnectedness in this new world. The power dynamics among European nations underwent a significant shift. The once dominant Spanish monarchy found itself in a position of relative weakness, as other European powers sought to gain favor with the Aztecs. The balance of global influence had irrevocably changed. Religious syncretism continued to evolve, as the blending of Aztec and Christian religious practices became more pronounced. Churches displayed icons of both faiths, and religious leaders grappled with the challenge of maintaining the purity of their beliefs in this new reality. Cultural exchange flourished, as artists, scholars, and traders from both sides reveled in the opportunity to explore the rich tapestry of this reimagined world. The streets of Cadiz buzzed with the vibrant colors and sounds of two distinct cultures colliding and merging. However, not all were content with the new reality. Traditionalists on both sides decried the erosion of their cultural identities, and pockets of resistance persisted. The delicate balance of this world was a testament to the complexities of diplomacy and the enduring power of tradition. As the chapter unfolded, the global community watched with fascination and trepidation as Aztec and European leaders forged a new world order. The implications of these diplomatic relations would shape the destiny of nations and set the stage for a future filled with both promise and uncertainty. Chapter 8: Legacy of the Aztec Ascendancy. Generations passed, and the legacy of the Aztec Ascendancy left an indelible mark on the Old World. The global landscape had shifted, and the ramifications of Aztec dominance continued to reverberate through the annals of history. The once familiar ideals, values, and norms had evolved over time. Spanish and Aztec traditions had melded to create a unique cultural tapestry. The streets of Cadiz bore witness to the daily rhythms of life in this new reality, where the blending of two worlds had given rise to a vibrant and harmonious society. Historians grappled with the challenge of documenting this alternate history. Records were examined, rewritten, and debated as scholars sought to uncover the truth of their world's past. The notion of historical accuracy had taken on new dimensions, and the study of history was forever changed. Archaeological discoveries shed light on the past, unearthing artifacts that hinted at the complexities of cultural exchange. Temples stood as symbols of the fusion of faiths, their walls adorned with intricate murals depicting both Aztec and European religious figures. Contested narratives persisted, as differing historical accounts and interpretations continued to shape the understanding of this world's history. The legacy of confusion left a lasting impression, challenging the very nature of historical truth. As the world grappled with these complexities, the impact of the Aztec Ascendancy extended far beyond the borders of Spain. Global politics, trade, and exploration had been forever altered. The world was a patchwork of alliances and rivalries, where the balance of power remained in constant flux. Ethical questions loomed large in this new world. The cultural exchange and imperialism that had defined this reality raised profound moral dilemmas. The lines between right and wrong, conqueror and conquered, remained blurred, leaving a legacy of ethical contemplation. In the grand tapestry of this reimagined reality, one truth remained undeniable. The Aztec Ascendancy had transformed the world in ways both profound and complex. The legacy of this alternate history challenged the very foundations of understanding and left a lasting imprint on the human experience. Chapter 9: Shifting Power Dynamics. In the wake of the Aztec Ascendancy and the establishment of diplomatic relations with European powers, the world order had undergone a profound transformation. As time passed, the shifting power dynamics continued to shape the course of history. The New World Order had firmly taken root, with the Aztec Empire at its epicenter. The once mighty Spanish monarchy had ceded significant territory and resources, forever altering the balance of global power. Cadiz, once a bastion of Spanish culture, was now a thriving hub of Aztec and European integration. Economic realities in this reimagined world were markedly different. The Aztec Ascendancy had ushered in an era of unprecedented trade and prosperity. European merchants eagerly sought opportunities in this new reality, and the markets of Cadiz brimmed with goods from distant lands. Military strength had also shifted. The Aztec Empire, bolstered by its vast resources, had emerged as a formidable force. Generals like Cuauhtémoc had led the charge in defending and expanding Aztec territories in Spain. The military balance was a source of tension among European nations as they grappled with the implications of Aztec dominance. Tensions persisted, with diplomatic negotiations and conflicts unfolding on multiple fronts. The world was a patchwork of alliances and rivalries, where the balance of power remained in constant flux. As new players entered the stage, the global community watched with a mix of intrigue and trepidation. The future of this world was marked by uncertainty, as nations navigated the complexities of this reimagined reality. The shifting power dynamics had set the stage for a new era of exploration, innovation, and global politics. Chapter 10. Unraveling the Past. Historians and scholars in this alternate reality face the daunting task of unraveling the true history of their world. The records were a patchwork of conflicting narratives, contested interpretations, and evolving perspectives. The pursuit of historical research was a relentless endeavor, with academics poring over manuscripts, documents, and oral accounts to piece together the past. The blending of Aztec and European traditions had given rise to a unique historical narrative, one that challenged preconceived notions of identity and culture. Archaeological discoveries offered tantalizing glimpses into the past. Temples, monuments, and artifacts from both Aztec and European traditions shed light on the complexities of cultural exchange. Each find was a puzzle piece in the larger mosaic of this reimagined reality. Contested narratives persisted, as differing historical accounts continued to shape the understanding of this world's history. Historians grappled with questions of historical accuracy and the influence of political agendas on the recording of events. The effort to recover knowledge lost due to the historical divergence was a central theme in this chapter. Scholars and researchers worked tirelessly to bridge the gaps in their understanding, seeking to uncover hidden truths and shed light on the complexities of their world. As historical records were examined, rewritten, and debated, the legacy of confusion and debate surrounding this alternate history became increasingly apparent. The study of history was no longer a straightforward pursuit, but a multifaceted exploration of truth and perception. In the midst of this intellectual tumult, a profound sense of curiosity and determination prevailed. Historians and scholars were driven by a shared desire to uncover the rich tapestry of their world's past, even as they grappled with the enigmatic nature of historical truth. The pursuit of knowledge was a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity and the unquenchable thirst for understanding in this reimagined reality. Chapter 11. Ethical Contemplation. As generations passed in this reimagined world, the legacy of the Aztec Ascendancy continued to raise profound ethical questions. The blending of cultures, the consequences of imperialism, and the complexities of diplomatic relations had left an indelible mark on the ethical landscape. Ethical debates raged on, both in academic circles and among the general populace. The fusion of Aztec and European traditions had given rise to unique moral dilemmas that challenged established norms and values. The religious syncretism that had characterized this world was a source of deep ethical contemplation. Clergy and theologians grappled with the implications of combining Aztec deities with Christian figures. Questions of faith, piety, and theological purity weighed heavily on the minds of believers. The ethical dimensions of diplomacy and imperialism were also a matter of intense debate. The Aztec Ascendancy had raised questions about the ethics of conquest and cultural assimilation. European powers, once dominant on the global stage, now found themselves grappling with the consequences of their own imperial ambitions. Scholars, philosophers, and ethicists explored these complex issues through writings and discussions. Ethical theories were tested and redefined in this new reality as thinkers sought to address the moral complexities of the world they inhabited. Human rights and social justice became central themes in the ethical discourse of this alternate history. The blending of cultures had created a diverse and interconnected society, prompting discussions about equality, tolerance, and the rights of individuals. As the world grappled with these ethical dilemmas, the legacy of the Aztec Ascendancy served as a constant reminder of the profound and sometimes uncomfortable questions that defined this reimagined reality. Chapter 12. The Future Unwritten. In the final chapter of this alternate history, the world stood on the precipice of an unwritten future. The Aztec Ascendancy had reshaped the course of history, leaving a legacy of complexity, uncertainty, and possibility. The global community had adapted to the realities of this new world. Cultural exchange, diplomatic negotiations, and economic prosperity had become the norm. The once mighty Spanish monarchy had been transformed into a powerful Aztec vassal, reflecting the shifting power dynamics of this reality. The world was marked by a sense of interconnectedness as nations and cultures coexisted and collaborated. The blending of Aztec and European traditions had created a vibrant and diverse society where the boundaries of identity were fluid and dynamic. Yet challenges and uncertainties remained. The legacy of imperialism and cultural assimilation continued to shape social dynamics, raising questions about identity, heritage, and belonging. Ethical debates persisted, reminding the world of the complexities of its history. The future remained unwritten, a blank canvas waiting to be filled with the aspirations and endeavors of future generations. The legacy of the Aztec Ascendancy served as a testament to the enduring power of human adaptability, curiosity, and resilience. As the story of this alternate history came to a close, it left the world with a profound sense of possibility. The future was uncertain, but it was a future shaped by the unique tapestry of this reimagined reality, a world where Aztec and European cultures had come together to create a rich and complex mosaic of history, identity, and discovery.